Speaking of my Sixers and speaking of Dill's comment right here. Speaking of Bill, can you transition into my Discord message question since it goes with Beal? Plus, has some trade ideas with Maxey in the trade package. So Dill sent me this message on Discord. Shameless plug. If you're not in the Discord, I suggest you get into the Discord. Dill's asked on Discord, Hawk, when the stream begins, can you answer this question for me that's been rumbling lately for Sixers fans? And this is a question that I haven't even really heard from most Sixers fans. So shout out to you for telling me this. In my opinion, and he puts in all caps, we should not trade Maxey at all for anybody, for literally anybody. Beal, Lillard, Paul, whatever. But other Sixers fans say it's worth it. So we'll go all in and have another shot and make it a title run. Dills, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. And I'm going to tell you why. Joel Embiid is 29? 29? Yeah, I think Joel Embiid is 29 and Jokic is 28. I happened to be looking up their ages the other day. Maxey is already built into the Sixers culture. Maxey already is built into and used to playing with Joel Embiid, right? And he's improved year over year. We've seen tremendous improvement from him. My fear or my hesitation in trading him for first off, a Beal, definitely not. I don't think a trade for Beal fixes isn't the question, the phrase I'm looking for, but improves our roster that much. And you might call me crazy for that. I'll live with that. That's fine. Keep it at a beam. The only person I would really consider it for would be Damian Lillard. I think Damian Lillard is head and shoulders above at this point in their careers. Beal and Chris Paul. He's head and shoulders above them, in my opinion. He's coming off one of the best seasons of his career, All NBA this past season. Statistically speaking, one of the best of his career. Winning wise, obviously not, but he's still Dame. The reason I would hesitate to making that trade, honestly, I'm gonna tell you why. And I guess I get to both folds of why the Sixers, some fans and the Sixers fans are saying make the trade, and some fans will be saying don't make the trade. Hear me out. Over the last couple of years, in terms of the teams that won a championship, teams don't just add a big piece like the piece that they're considering in this trade, whether it be Dame, Beal, like a clear number 2, right? You don't just add that in the offseason and then win a championship. That just doesn't happen. But do you know what does happen? You draft a couple of good guys, you build a culture, and then you know what you pick up with the trades and the free agency pieces. You pick up like 6-mans. You pick up rangy wings. You pick up backup centers. That's what you pick up and put the extra pieces around. Because if you look, I'm keeping it a B. Let's just look. Giannis, you drafted there. You say, oh, well, Drew and Brook weren't. Yeah, but they was already there for, 2 seasons. I think Drew was there for 2 seasons before they won the chip. Brook was there, I think, also for 2 seasons before they won the chip, if I'm not mistaken. I could be misremembering. That might be me. But I knew they weren't there just the season prior and stuff. You look at the Warriors dynasty. Yes, they added Kevin Durant. That's a very rare occasion. But they also were at 2 finals before then from a homegrown organization. We look at the Denver Nuggets that just won. That is a homegrown organization. The outside pieces, yeah, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon a couple years ago. But those are the fringe pieces you add via trade and free agency. But MPJ, Jamal, Jokic, homegrown, right? Think of even the only team that I would say that doesn't necessarily follow this formula, at least in the last couple of years, are the 2020 Lakers. But even to that extent, LeBron was there the year prior, and then you add Anthony Davis to play with LeBron, and that was just a very unique situation. I don't think the Sixers have that ability to just add a number one, number two level guy at the point guard position and catapult us to true title contention. I just don't personally. Does it sound pessimistic? Yes. Does it feel pessimistic? Definitely yes. As I'm saying it out loud, but I just don't think that's the trade you make. Yes, unless you're Bron and AD. Exactly. That's a very niche scenario. What's good, G, by the way? G says, can you move Tobias to get DeRozan? Bulls can open up space and Sixers can get a dog and you keep Maxey. So that's the only other thought I've had, right? Is because you got to add another additional piece. Like you can't, if you move a piece, it can't be Maxey that you move because so much of our offense is going to be generated for Maxey, is already generated for Maxey, that if you just trade Maxey for Dame, as crazy as it sounds, but if we're keeping it a being of really evaluating what Maxey brought to this team this past year, you're adding what, like 10 more points a game? Like you're not mad. As crazy as it sounds, if you move Maxey for just it's not marginally better, but like the next level of guard, I don't think that's that much of an improvement. You're adding like the same amount of assists if it's Dame, or a couple more assists and like 7 to 10 more points a game. That's not as much of an improvement as I think the Sixers would need. The idea of a DeRozan could be smooth for us. I know a lot of Sixers fans want to move Tobias, and I think if we are going to move Tobias, this is the year to do it because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's a free agent next summer. So if you're going to move him, this is the summer / beginning of season to do it. And there's a world where I can see the Bulls also being like, you know what, DeRozan, Zach, all y'all out of here. Like it's time to reset ourselves, considering they don't even know the future of Alonzo. So I get it. Sixers can't evaluate talent and can't make homegrown players better. It's been that way. Yeah, I mean, I think the Sixers problem over the last, we'll say 6 years, has been, and I've said this before, this is literally the point I was just making about homegrown players, but we just talked about the last couple of people that won the championship. Not only is it evaluating talent, but what do we say about the Heat? We say Heat culture. We talk about this magical word of culture, but that comes from stability from the top. Same GM running it, so the same vision, the same coaching. The Sixers over the last 5-6 seasons went from Hinkie to they forced him out. Then we had Colangelo. Then we had Elton Brand, and then we have I always forget his name. It literally always, I can see his face. Y'all know who I'm trying to say. So there's no stability in terms of the vision for the team. So when it comes time for the draft, one GM's like, I have this vision. I'm going to draft this guy. Then he gets fired. And then this other GM goes, well, I have a whole different vision. I'm trading these picks for this guy. And so there's no real stability. And then there's no stability in terms of coaching. We went from Brett Brown. Well, I guess this really just went from Brett Brown to Doc. But no one liked Brett Brown, and now no one likes Doc. So in terms of just like the instability that's been there for the Sixers, the idea of another big trade, like a big swing at the fence trade, Dame, Beal, even the Harden one that we did, the idea of another big swing of the fence trade, to me, all it says is more instability, more shuffling the deck and just trying to scramble, essentially. Is because we didn't start with that good foundation of seeing a vision and sticking with it. We just kept going all over the place. It's hurting. I mean, we've seen it. It hurts our chances come to actually try to win a championship.